Hello. Happy second day of Black History Month. The person that I will be doing is a state rep from South Carolina. His name is Joseph Rainey. He was born June 21st, 1832, and he passed away August 1st, 1887. Um, what I found very grand about him, let's just say I'm going to put a little different twist or my own perspective on some things when I did some research on him. So he was born into slavery, and his father taught him a trade to do bar to become a barber. And so that trade um soon developed into wealth. Well, I wouldn't say soon developed into wealth, but it became wealth at one point in time before he became a state rep for South Carolina. How this became wealth in a way, and how he became the state rep for South Carolina, he had a string of events that has happened in his life. At one point in time, he was forced to work for the Confederate. So at one point in those times, the Confederate and the Union, they were fighting, trying to gain control of the United States, who was going to win. So he was digging ditches for the Confederate, and he got fed up with it and didn't want to do it anymore. So he left. So he ended up fleeing to Bermuda. He ended up meeting his wife. He married her and everything. So his trade took him very far. So he knew how to do the role of a barber, cut hair and groom men. And so while he was in Bermuda, he took advantage of a lot of economic advantages that was there for him. So that's how he started to build his wealth. In the meantime, his wife also opened a dress shop. So that also helped. So one day they were out and they overheard some not civil rights, excuse me, Civil War um, people, I would say like an army or so. They were out and they overheard them talking about the progression of the Civil War. So they had the idea, let's go back to South Carolina. He went back to Georgetown, South Carolina. And plus, with this, he was really respected in the community as a leader because he had the wealth and he had the money. So they go back. He joined the Republican Party, and at the time, there were a lot of black people that were a part of the Republican Party, simply because of Abraham Lincoln and his Emancipation Proclamation and everything. So he ended up going back to Georgetown to South Carolina, and he became the Republican country chairman, which allowed him to travel to like a constitutional convention. So this is like the steps that he went through to get to the point where he is known as the state rep for South Carolina. He became a census taker. He also became a general for the state militia, and then he was also elected to office in 1870. That's his first term. So he served 5 terms. So with that being said, there were many things that Joseph Rainey fought for while he was in office. For example, he was a part of a couple of committees. Rainey worked for the Committee of Freedmen Affair in 1865. This was mainly about free slaves, and he did earn some recognition for that. He also was a part of the Civil Rights Bill of 1875 to outlaw any discrimination, racial discrimination, on jury, schools, and transportation and public accommodations. Rainey also focused on things to desegregate public schools. So he's done a lot, even though it may seem like one way, that does not necessarily mean people that weren't working for black people when it came to civil rights and civil liberties. Now, I have a quote from him. He was the longest serving black person at state rep for South Carolina at that time. I'm not sure about in current times as of now, but this is a quote. I tell you that the Negro will never rest until he gets his rights. Said on This is said on the House floor, not because he not because we want to deprive any other class of rights and immunities they enjoy, but because they are granted to us by the law of the land. So all these people that I want to talk about during Black History Month, um, I want people to realize that first of all, we're not lazy. We always wanted to have some type of effectual change and make it better for other people. I know I gave some cut dry facts about Joseph Rainey as a South Carolinian state rep, but I'm sure he had some struggles and he had some things, some opposition against him. And we all have some type of opposition against us. It could be our own thoughts or things that's external, but somehow he found a way to persevere. Also, I would like you to subscribe to my channel, Question and Research. This is the whole word. Also, follow me on Instagram, um, Question and Research, all one word, no symbols or anything. And I thank you for listening to me. Please subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell and also like the video. Thank you, and you'll hear again from me tomorrow.